100% of the insight that discovery and sharing is something that happens on bar stools, when you're walking the dog, or when you're at the kitchen table amongst friends with no expectations. So what we wanted to do was create an event that brings together a unique combination of like-minded thinkers and puts them in a comfortable environment.
For me, it's more about being able to hear all the brilliant people talking to their peers around one specific topic.
The At Lounge concept is always about creating events that surprise and delight. We do this intimate dinner conversation that happens at a kitchen table.
When I was invited to DishCourse the first time, I really didn't know what it was. I knew it was sort of mysterious. And when I realized what it was, I thought, this is so cool. And it was made pretty clear to me that the only way you're going to a second DishCourse is by hosting. So I put my hand up right away.
So I've always been intrigued with how tastes is formed, and not just how it works when you're eating, but how you decide what you want and what intrigues you. And advertising is all about that.
Well, you know, in physics, when you force particles together, things get hot. And I would say that intellectually speaking, that's what DishCourse does.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. This is a very eclectic group of people tonight.
You don't get better conversations than you do around the kitchen table. This time, the topic we've chosen, where does the line between sort of privacy and information lie? And what does that mean for us as kind of communicators and marketers?
Done well, data can be very, very powerful, but I think for 99% of the people and the hype that's around it, I think we've got it wrong. Because if the PhDs from Stanford and Google can't figure out how to get insights, what makes you think C students at ad agencies can do it?
Despite consumers saying that privacy is important, if it really was, Facebook wouldn't be where it is.
We are in the teenage years of technology, and so we are collectively all in our teenage years. We're all trying to sort it out. We're all messed up. And we're all making mistakes. Brands are making mistakes. Consumers are making mistakes at different levels, different ages.
I think of the abolishment of the cookie, and I think of the impact that that will have on our ecosystem. From an advertising standpoint, I think you'll see the networks, a lot of them disappear or be amalgamated.
For us, at Four Seasons, luxury brand, people paying a lot of money to stay with us, they expect us to know them.
So I stayed at a place called the James, and I booked online, and so right after I finished my transaction, it's a little thing that came up, and it simply said, tell your Facebook friends that you're staying at the James, and get a room upgrade. I was like, that's kind of interesting, but as sort of a marketer, I was like going, I can't wait to see if they can follow through on this shit.
I think probably a lot of the apprehensions come from unanticipated use of the data.
Yeah.
You want people to know you so they can serve you better, which is sort of like, you know, we walk into Four Seasons and they go, hello, nice to see you again. And then there's Adrian's, which I agree with completely, which is that inadvertent breach of privacy. When you're out at a party and you do something you shouldn't do, and then people take pictures of you with their cell phones and then post them all over the place, you're like, oh, I don't want that.
Like, where is that ethical line in the application of it, right? Because if we're having all these millennials kind of putting themselves out there, what happens when they actually start to enter the
Honest
workforce?
though, as a person who's like run talent and recruitment for digital agents for almost 10 years, LinkedIn for sure, you're checking them out, but you don't have time to go on Facebook.
If someone would have said, hey, so on this shopping website, are you okay if we take the data about what you buy and what you do with it and we give it to other people? I'd be like, no way. I don't know, that's my personal shopping behavior, right? You would think you're not okay with it, but then you think about the service that Amazon provided, and I go, for me, it's made me a more versatile, more flexible, more interesting person.
I think the creative will always survive because fundamentally it's going to be telling stories, right? As long as we live, we're going to tell stories. That's it, right?
It's a very simple thing I use with planners of explaining the difference between a fact, an observation, and an insight. So a fact, most people feed their pets twice a day. Okay? Observation is people tend to feed their pets at breakfast and dinner time. Okay? The insight is people feel guilty eating in front of their pets. No database is going to tell me that. That's a couple creative people in the room.
I validate that fact.
Exactly.